This is too many. This is way too many. And I'm definitely gonna drop them. Okay, let's not destroy all of these books that I just bought. Hello, hi, welcome. So today I'm coming to you with a good old-fashioned book haul. It's been quite some time since I've filmed a book haul, but I've acquired quite a few books over the past few months. I went to YALLWEST last month, so I picked up some stuff there, and also while I was in LA. And also because of the tragic news about Book Depository closing, I decided to place like a final order from them as well, and I've also just been picking up other things here and there. I've just been in such a book buying mood recently. I should probably go on a book buying ban, but I don't think that's gonna happen anytime soon. I've had a lot going on in my personal life recently, so I have needed some space and time to just do fun, cozy, chill activities like reading lots of books, watching cozy movies, and playing fun, cozy games. And one of the games I've been playing recently is Love and Pies, who is actually the sponsor of today's video. Love and Pies is a free-to-play Merge 2 mobile game that you can play either on your phone or on your tablet. The game has a storyline component to it where we follow around our main character named Amelia Green, who moves to the countryside with her daughter after a divorce, and she meets new characters along the way as you play through the game. There's a mystery involved in the storyline where she's trying to uncover some dark secrets. You basically combine different resources in order to expand the business, create baked goods and other things that you're kind of selling in your cafe. It's a lot of fun. It's very, very chill. I enjoy it because I can turn my brain off while I'm playing and just live in their little world. You can also decorate and customize the cafe, so there are a lot of different components to it, and it's so much fun and also so relaxing to play, which is what I really appreciate about it. So there really is something there for everyone if you want a little bit of mystery, if you want a little bit of a storyline, or if you need a bit of a break to just take some time for you. It's the perfect game to play. So be sure to download Love and Pies now with my link below. So again, thank you to Love and Pies for sponsoring this video. And one last thing before we get into talking about all of the books in today's haul, I want to remind you all that my new journal, the Clockwork Reader Film and TV Journal, will be out on June 27th. It's about a month away at this point, a little bit more than a month away, but it's going to be out very, very soon. So pre-order links are in the description box if you want a place to jot down all of the movies and TV shows that you watched, keep track of them, journal about them. It's the perfect place to do so. The pre-order link will be in the description box as always. Again, thank you so much to anyone who has already pre-ordered. I'm so excited for this to come out. But now, without any further ado, let's get into every single book in my book haul. I think I have like 15 to 20, something like that. I did not count, but it's quite a few. Okay, so starting off, I have a few books that I had ordered from Book Depository a while ago, and these are just some UK editions because I really love UK editions of books. I think most of them are so much better than the US editions. I don't know why. The US editions are just so ugly in comparison sometimes, but these I actually like the US editions of. I just like the UK editions more, which is why I chose to go with them. But those books are The Daughter of the Moon Goddess and The Heart of the Sun Warrior. I read both of these earlier this year, and this is a duology, but I do honestly believe that you can just read this one on its own if you wanted to. You don't have to read the sequel, and I personally wouldn't recommend reading the sequel. I know last time I talked about these books, I was saying I was really loving it and I was in the middle of this and I was really liking this too, but having finished this now, I gave this 4 stars and I really enjoyed it. I would recommend it. I think it's a fun time if you're looking for a high fantasy novel. This, you can skip it. I gave this 2 stars. I hated this one. I didn't hate it. Hate's a strong word. But I didn't like it, okay? This was just the most chaotic, messy, indecisive main character I've ever read about in my entire life. Girl can't make a choice for her life. And she just goes back and forth between these 2 men nonstop to the point where it's just insufferable. It was insufferable enough in this, but I found it endearing for some reason. In this one, you get to a point where you're just like, girl, make a decision and stick to it because I can't take it anymore. And then she did make a decision, and I think it was the wrong decision, so I didn't like it. Yeah, not a fan of the second book at all, personally. The first one is a good time, would recommend it. It's not my favorite, but it was still fun and I enjoyed myself. Not so enjoyable, but it's so pretty and they're like a set, so I'm not getting rid of it. I'm gonna keep both of them. But if you were curious about what to buy and you've been eyeing these editions, my recommendation, this one's worth trying out. This one, save your money. Okay, next up I have another duology that I picked up the UK editions of. I've talked about this one I think in a previous wrap-up video because I've read one of them but I haven't read the second one yet, but that is the River Enchanted series, A River Enchanted and A Fire Endless by Rebecca Ross. These are, again, the UK editions. I just think they're so nice. I have read this. I really enjoyed this. I definitely need to pick this up. I started it, I read like 10 pages, but I wasn't in the mood, so I have to go back to it, but I really liked this one. I described this as somewhat like of a mix of of the better parts of the CW TV show Reign and Outlander, both of which I hate in a lot of ways, but love specific things about them. And to me, this was the perfect combination of the best parts of those two shows. So yeah, would recommend, have enjoyed this one. Don't know about this yet, but I am excited to read it. I am hopeful that I will really enjoy it. They're just so pretty and I love looking at them on my shelves. Okay, next up is, I believe, I don't know if this is the UK edition. I think it is the UK special edition or 10th anniversary edition or something. But I bought this to replace a copy that I already had of this book, and that is this edition of The Song of Achilles. I did really enjoy this book. I don't think I enjoyed as much as a lot of other people do. Like personally, of Madeline Miller's work, Circe is my favorite over The Song of Achilles, but I still enjoyed this and I wanted to have a nice copy of it for my bookshelves. And this was the only hardcover one that I liked and the only one that kind of matches my edition of Circe as well. But yeah, I just think this one is so pretty. The end papers are also super pretty. It has a ribbon bookmark. This year I have been really into either repurchasing some books that I already have that are really old, or if I have editions of them that I'm not really a very big fan of, I've been trying to like replace them. You'll notice that later in the book haul too. But I really just want to have the nice editions of books that I really love on my bookshelves. And I've also been unhauling a lot, and I felt so much better since I've done that, because so much of my bookshelves were just books that were sent to me that I had no interest in reading. And now it feels like my shelves are so much more full of the books I actually really loved and also want to read. So yeah, it's been really nice. And this was definitely one of those purchases for me. I wanted to replace that ugly paperback with this beautiful hardback. So I'm very glad that I did. Next up, let's get into the books that I picked up at YALLWEST. I did not go for any ARCs or anything. I was just there to like have a good time and walk around. I'd never been to YALLWEST before. I just wanted to see what it was like. So my friend and I went, and it was really fun. It had been years since I'd been to a book festival or book convention. I hadn't gone since BookCon 2019, which was so long ago and also a very different experience. So it was very odd. I don't know how to explain how I felt being there, but it was a strange experience, but overall a very good experience. It was very lovely meeting so many of you. It was so nice. Thank you so much to anyone who said hi. I had a great time meeting you all. It was so good to meet people in person again. But a lot of the festival was mostly about book signings or ARC drops and stuff, but I wasn't really interested in getting anything. But I did get to meet one author who was just so lovely and so kind, and he gifted me 2 of his books, which was so sweet. But that is Abdi Nazemian. He gave me a copy of Like a Love Story and the Chandler Legacies, which is not his most recent book. He has a new book that has also just come out too. I went to the banned books panel that he was on while he was there and heard him speak on there a little bit, which was a great panel as well. So many of the authors there were just fantastic and I loved what they had to say. But we saw him later at his book signing because my friend really enjoyed his books. So we were talking a little bit, and it was just really great to hear him talk about his work and talk about writing in general. It was really inspiring. So he gifted me these and signed them, personalized them to me. So yeah, I'm very excited to read these books. I've been wanting to read Like a Love Story ever since it came out because people told me it was written by an Iranian author and it's a queer YA contemporary. So I feel like I would really love this. So yeah, I'm very excited to have these. I'm very excited to get around to them, and I really hope that I love them. Okay, the next few books that I picked up were partially your recommendations because I went to the Ripped Bodice, which is a romance bookstore in Los Angeles that I went to last time I was there for the first time, and I loved it. So this time when I was going back, I knew I had to go again because that bookstore is just so cute and endearing. It's such a lovely space and the vibes in there are immaculate. So I knew I wanted to pick up a few books from there because I love that place. So I went on Instagram and I asked you all what books I should buy, and these were a few that were recommended pretty frequently. The most commonly recommended one was Happy Place by Emily Henry, but 1, they were out of it, and 2, I'm waiting for that to come out in paperback because I don't like that it's a hardback. I want it to match all my paperback Emily Henry books. So we're waiting on that one, but I will be reading it soon on audiobook. So I didn't pick that one up, but based on your recommendations and based on my own personal interests, I decided to pick these up, and I really think I'm gonna like them all. The first one is The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches. I've just heard this described as a very cozy fantasy romance novel, very chill, very lighthearted, and that's what I want. Like, I just want something fun and lighthearted and cute to read. So I think this will definitely be something that I really enjoy. I've heard good reviews of it. A lot of you recommend recommended it to me, like I said, so I can't wait to see what I think of this. Next, I picked up Half a Soul, which is a book that's been recommended to me countless times at this point, and I've been wanting to read it too because it sounds like something I would enjoy. A lot of people said that this, and also A Very Irregular Society of Witches, and the next book I'm going to mention, all have very strong Howl's Moving Castle vibes, which is exactly what I want. Because as you all know, that's one of my favorite movies of all time, and I just want more of those vibes always. So I hope that this definitely does have some of that energy. I know that this one is about fae. That is the only thing that has kept me from picking it up for so long, but because so many of you were recommending it, I decided to give it a chance. I'm just not the biggest fan of fae in general. I've just never really liked any fae story that I've read very much, so I feel like there's got to be something out there that I do enjoy. So maybe this will be the one. Hopefully it is. I just really want some more feel-good romantic fantasy stories. It's just one of my favorite genres, as you can tell based on everything I like to read and all of my favorite books. But I feel like I'm so picky and particular with them too. It's hard for me to find something that I really, really love in that genre sometimes. Okay, and finally, the last book that I picked up from the Ripped Bodice was Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies. This is the book that I think I'm gonna like the most out of the ones that I ended up buying, because this was the one I bought, not because of anyone's recommendation specifically, but just because I've really been wanting to read this. But I've just heard countless good things about this. I have no idea what it's about, and I really don't want to know. I just know that people keep comparing it to Howl's Moving Castle and saying that it's really similar in some ways with the dynamics of the characters, and that's all the incentive I need to read something. So I'm really hoping to love this. This one was again mostly my own choice, but I did ask you all if you think I would like it, and everyone told me that they think that I would, so hopefully you're all right and I end up loving this one too. Okay, and then finally the last book that I picked up while I was in Los Angeles was from a different bookstore called Village Well Books. That bookstore was so beautiful. I enjoyed it too. Every time I go on a trip, I literally just go to as many bookstores as I possibly can in the city that I'm in because I love exploring bookstores. It's genuinely like one of my favorite activities. And I try to always buy at least one book from the new bookstores that I visit because I like supporting indie bookstores. But the book I picked up from Village Well was What My Bones Know by Stephanie Fu. This is nonfiction. It's a memoir of healing from complex trauma, to be specific. This book is about the author's personal experience with being diagnosed with CPTSD or complex PTSD. It's mostly about her own personal experiences, like I mentioned, but also includes some interviews that she's done with scientists and psychologists and doctors. And she also discusses immigrant trauma and how that is connected to everything else that she's been experiencing. And I've just heard fantastic things about this book, and I've been wanting to read it for some time. I know it's going to be probably a very difficult book to read, but I think it's going to be something I really enjoy. I do really like these types of personal memoirs. They're some of my favorite nonfiction books to read. So yeah, I'm very much looking forward to this one, and I'm glad that I was able to pick up a copy. All right, and then the last section of books that I have to show you in this haul are all the books that I ordered in my final Book Depository order, which just feels so sad and tragic to say. I know the Book Depository was owned by Amazon, and it was definitely not the best place to buy books in general, but it was one of the only places that allowed people to buy books internationally, and they shipped like almost anywhere, still not everywhere, but to a lot of different countries. And so now buying books is going to be a lot more inaccessible to a lot of people, which is just not good. So it's sad that Book Depository is closing for a number of reasons, and yeah, I was very, very upset about it. There are a couple of like alternative options. I'll try and link some other bookstores that I know of that sell like UK editions and stuff and still ship at least to the US that I know of. I don't know about other countries. I can try and find some more too, but I just know that losing Book Depository was a very big loss for a lot of people. I did place my final order, and these are the books that I picked up. So starting off, I picked up the next two books in the, don't even know what this series is called, The Bear and the Nightingale series, I guess if you want to call it that. I picked up The Girl in the Tower and The Witch of Winter. These are books 2 and 3 in that series. I've had book 1 for years. I still haven't read it. I know I have the entire series and I haven't read any of them. Not the smartest choice, but I just wanted all the matching UK editions. But then these arrived, and they have these stickers that are not stickers because you can't remove them on the covers, and I hate it. Why do we do this? How many different people have to say this? Everyone hates these. Stop doing this. Me at every publisher, stop doing this. Stop putting these non-removable stickers on your cover and ruining your cover art. Why? What is the reason? Anyway, I picked up books 2 and 3, and they kind of match, but they don't match because the fonts are like a little different. The color of the text is a little different. I'll grab the other one. See, this is my beautiful edition of The Bear and the Nightingale, free of any non-removable stickers on the cover. I love it. And then the spine is like this. The publisher logo is Del Rey, and I don't know if the publisher changed, if they switched to a different imprint, but now it's just the regular penguin logo at the bottom. It's not blue, it's yellow. I know I'm being nitpicky, but I hate when books don't match on my shelf. It's infuriating, but it's fine. At least they're all the same size, so we have that. Maybe if I end up really, really loving the series, I'll try and find some special editions or something to buy eventually, but for now, this is good enough. Okay, next up, I picked up Parable of the Talents by Octavia E. Butler. This is the sequel to Parable of the Sower, which I read last year and absolutely loved. Literally one of my favorite books of all time now, and I have been wanting to read this so badly. But I'd ordered the UK edition of Parable of the Sower, so I wanted to get the matching UK edition of this so that they match and that they look nice on the shelf, and they do, so I'm very happy. But yeah, I really needed to pick this one up because I plan to read this pretty soon. Okay, next up, I picked up a book that I already own a different copy of. I have a different version of it, but I really wanted this edition ever since I saw it was announced, and that is this special hardcover edition, I think 5th anniversary edition? Yes, 5th anniversary illustrated edition of If We Were Villains by ML Rio. This was one of my favorite books of last year. I'm utterly obsessed with this book. It has become so much of who I am at this point, and I just knew I needed to get this edition because it's so, so beautiful. There is some gold foiling on the hardcover. There are illustrated end papers, which are so pretty, and there are also just like illustrations in the book as well. So yeah, I just needed to get this because I wanted a nice, pretty hardcover edition of it on my shelves. So now it just sits next to the other one because, as most of you probably know, I love buying multiple editions of my favorite books. You can never have too many. You definitely can have too many. I've had too many at certain points, but for me, I think 2 is fine. Okay, the next 3 books that I picked up were just new editions of books that I already owned as well, but I wanted to replace those editions because I did not like those covers. I've never liked those covers, and I've always wanted better ones. And when I saw these, I knew I had to buy them because I think they're just absolutely beautiful. Truly some of the prettiest books I own, I think. Oh, they're so good. And that is the Graceling trilogy. These books are so pretty. Oh my god, look at that. Look at these covers. Are you kidding me? This gold foiling. If you know what the original Graceling covers look like, they do not look like this. These are gorgeous. I know they've redone the US covers as well, and those are nice, but I don't really like them very much. I think these are perfect covers for these books. I feel like they match the vibes of the books perfectly. This feels like the Graceling trilogy to me, and they're just so well designed, and I will always fall for some good gold foiling. So yeah, these books were just, oh, such a need for me, such a need. So yeah, I'm very, very happy to be able to replace my old copies. I've had those since middle school, and there's nothing wrong with them. I will just donate them, but I wanted some nice new ones because I really love this series. I do want to read the other books in the series as well. I think there are 2 more out, or maybe 3 more out. I still need to get those eventually, but I just got these for now since I've read all of these. But whenever I decide to read those, I will definitely be purchasing these editions of them. Okay, speaking of another book with beautiful cover art and beautiful gold foiling, I absolutely had to pick up the UK edition of The Adventures of Amina Al-Sarafi. This book is so pretty. Look at this. Literally one of my favorite covers I think ever. This is just so, so nice. And it's not even a special edition. This is just the regular UK hardcover. And then wait until you see this map. This is such a nice map. If I were to write a book, I want this artist to draw the map for my book. I'm just utterly in love with this whole thing. It's so good. And the book is also really good so far. I'm about 70 or 80 pages into it, as you can see. This is my current read right now, and I'm loving it. This is exactly what I've been wanting. A fantasy novel about the most notorious female pirate. Sign me up. Oh my god, it's so good. It's better than I was expecting it to be even, and I'm having a great time reading it. And it may be a little bit too early to say because I'm not even fully 100 pages into it yet, but so far the cover and the inside, both beautiful. Truly, like, I'm gonna face this out on my bookshelf. Even if I don't end up loving the book, it's a work of art. I want to stare at it all the time. All right, and then finally, the very last book in my haul, the last book that I ordered from Book Depository was Belladonna by Adeline Grace. This is also the UK edition. I'm gonna show you a picture of the US edition, and you tell me if these 2 books give off the same vibe. Because I saw this cover and I was like, I'm not reading that book. I have no interest. And then I saw this cover and I was like, I have to read that book. That looks like exactly the type of book I would love just based on the cover's vibes alone. Who did this? What was the reason? Why are we doing this? Why are we still putting people on covers? That's my real question. In 2023, does anybody want a person on the cover? I never want a person on the cover unless it's some really, really beautiful like illustration. Not interested. Truly not interested. This, however, gorgeous. I love it. I feel like I will like it based on some of the people I've seen recommending this book. They've liked other books that I've liked as well, so I feel like I might like it, but honestly, I mostly bought this because of the cover, and I'm just really hoping that I like it. It's blurbed by Stephanie Garber on the front as a deliciously deadly gothic romance, and I do love gothic romance fantasy, so I do feel like there's a pretty good chance that I will enjoy this. But yeah, more than anything, I just saw this and I was like, I love it. I love the look of it. I don't know what it is about it, but I'm just drawn to it. Is the cover potentially deceiving me? Yes, there's no way to know until I finally read it, but I do plan to read it soon because it's been high on my list for a while now and I really just want to know what I'm gonna think. But there you all have it. That is it for my book haul. I hope you were able to learn about some new books or find some new books that might interest you. I'm very excited to read all of these and share my thoughts with you very soon on them, but I hope you all enjoyed watching this video. Let me know in the comments down below if you've read any of the books that I mentioned in this video, if there are any that you think I should move up on my list, that I should start with first. I would love to hear any of your thoughts. If there are any other books that you think that I should buy, let me know as well. I have been in such a book buying mood. All I want to do right now is buy more books. It's probably not a good thing, but I'm just gonna stick with it for now. If you would like to follow me on any of my social media, all of my links are in the description box as always. But thank you all so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed and I will see you in my next video. Bye!